Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip,
And I'm CJ.
and it is Wednesday in the ribbon. Look at the decoration CJ put up. Wow.
Hey, is that Brad or Paul?
I don't
Paul
know.
the
Who's the turkey in the
wagon.
corner? Everybody, name that turkey.
That's it.
Oh, well, I guess the our outgoing lame duck city council has got again gave the school department a big gift, right? $7 million.
Well, here's the way it was earlier this year. The school department came before the city council asking for $5 million because they overspent their budget. The city council reluctantly gave them the $5 million. And if I gave you a guess on the votes, you'd laugh and you'd know it's true. Okay? But as you and I discussed recently, they were saying that they're $2 million over budget in the healthcare.
Lie.
Which is a lie, which you explained very adequately.
Yeah. Good one, Jeff. Good one. Okay.
So they, I guess, are sending back to the city council or something for $2 million. Now, that's a total of $7 million overspent. By the school department.
Let me ask one question. They gave all these pay raises out. They gave all these contracts out. We know that there's no fiscal and fiduciary responsibility.
By that report,
nobody can on either side,
right?
Because we have no. We'll get into that. Another thing about the financial teams, we've got no financial team. We have no auditor now. I don't believe they're going to be. We'll get to that one later. But let me ask you this question: if you don't pay your credit card, do they give you the money?
No.
Oh, they not only don't give you the money, they charge you a late fee and increase your
interest
your interest rate through
and decrease your credit line.
That's right, and they destroy your credit.
Right.
But no, what did we just spend all day Monday on? The school department waste, redundancies in jobs, people having no responsibility, no accountability, no transparency. We spent the entire Monday reviewing that 74-page report off the highlights of thereof. And we had Colin on, who had made a great contribution to the show. And now they give him $7 million because they pissed it at home. But let me tell you something. The $5 million they overspent, they should be held accountable for. You shouldn't have given them the money. But you still got Brad Kilby, former member of the school committee, Paul Hart, former member of the school committee, and a Cooganite. You still got the Cooganites on, and they're going to spend as much as they can before they leave. Because maybe these things won't be approved when we have a new city council. I don't think Chris Peckham is going to approve this. But let me explain something. They just conned the city out of $2 million. Paul Coogan knows it. They're not $2 million short. They're not $2 million short in health care. I can guarantee you, and I'm saying this in front of a camera, you show me one school department employee who had a bill rejected because it didn't get paid. I'll bet anybody $5,000 right now. Because it didn't happen. How many times do I have to tell you, and the council, and that nitwit that they got in charge of finance at the school department that it got explained 5 years ago when he said they were out of money about the leper colony? They're in a freaking group. We've got $8 or $9 million in the trust fund. It comes out of everybody's pay. One department runs under budget, the other department runs over budget. That's why it's a group. All the bills got paid. That's only a number so they can go next school spending, and they got to show their budget numbers. That shouldn't even be in a school budget. It should be a separate item because it's a group. I've said that a million times. They're getting $2 million for what? They're getting $2 million to pay those bills? CJ, tell me. I'm baffled. They're asking for $2 million for health care that's been paid. Because I know it's been paid. Because I sit at a meeting every month. Nobody said the school department can't pay their bills. The bills are being paid. I got the reports in my briefcase. I can tell you exactly how much we paid in bills last month. Everybody's bills in the school department got paid. That's a bullshit item budget. It comes out of the pot for the group.
And currently you're at 88%.
Bill, they got money in the employee trust fund, and the city has money in their section of the group plan to pay the bills. They conned the money. Conned it.
And according to your reports, the health fund is at 88%.
Yeah, you good memory, CJ. Remember that. We're running at like 88.6%. We're running under budget this last period that we reported. So we're running well under budget. We're a couple.
I guess that 12% is what's paying the $2 million that they're not getting paid.
But these people, look, we got a serious problem in this city. We have nobody that can count. Paul already said, I'm not good at numbers. We got nobody that can count. We can't keep anybody. We got somebody in the school department that doesn't understand they're in a group, has already tried this con twice. Even though he came into a room once and I explained to him, if you got your health care from the state of Hawaii and you're in a leper colony and you have a lot of bills and you go, ooh, my budget can't pay it. No. You have a state fund. We have a city fund. It's a group. It's called group insurance. That's what it's called. Group insurance. Not school department insurance, fire department insurance, group insurance. You don't run out of money. They ran out of money. We ran a little bit over budget last year. They ran out of money. We didn't, because we kept the money where it's supposed to be. All the money for all those years we ran under budget, we kept some, even though we gave some money back. We reduced the premium last year, this year, by siphoning money off. That's what the statute says. But we got nobody. And it's going to get worse, people. I was told today from a very reliable source that we know that the kid that was the assistant auditor, the Cedric, he's left. He's gone down a Cape somewhere. Very, very bright kid. Came to the retirement board meetings. We had long conversations and stuff. He left. He couldn't take it in there anymore. And now the person that was in there interim, she resigned, supposedly. She couldn't work with that person over there. The person supposedly that's running our finances with a political science degree, and I don't know. We get a lot of rumors that nobody can work with this person, and she's not that sharp. So I guess she wanted to go back to where she came from and said she was going to just leave that position and go back to where she was. Well, Paul waited till after the election and fundamentally told her to take a walk. That's what I've heard. It's an allegation. We have to check it. I don't know, Annalise. So now I'm going to give you another allegation. Josh, nice to see you. Annalise, nice to see you. Ciao. But I heard that they're going to hire an auditor or an assistant auditor to help this one that can't do the job. I don't know what he'll be, the assistant auditor or the auditor, who cares? But the individual I have heard has absolutely no public sector experience with public sector budgets, doesn't know how to use the Munis system to report anything.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy. It's a horror show. It's an absolute horror show. Yeah, you're right. It makes me sick, too. I'm paying more for my property tax and my sewer water fee than I pay for my mortgage.
I know. Isn't it terrible?
It's nuts.
My escrow payments went up again because my taxes went up.
And what are we getting for it? What did that report say? Absolutely nothing. We just had a 74-page report that said the school department is in a total state of chaos, and they give them $7 million because they overspent. They should tell Coogan, take it out of your salaries. Hold your, listen.
He keeps saying he's not going to run anymore.
Well, listen, this thing with the school, look, it's bad enough when they give you money. Josh, I don't know, you work in a real world. When you don't pay your bills, does the guy you owe the bills tell you, yeah, I'm going to give you the money, Josh, and I'll give you a couple extra million too? I don't know. That's not the way it works. You don't pay your credit card. They not only don't give you the money, they charge you a massive penalty, triple your interest rates, and then they'll ruin your credit rating.
That's right.
But not here. We got a report that says that it's a disaster. Then the disaster sends it over to the other disaster, the city council. And the Kilbys say, give them the money. And like I said, what are they giving them the money for? For health care. They said they're $2 million short of health care. No, they're not. They're not. Those bills have been paid. I can prove it. I dare them. I'll bet anybody $1,000. Show me anybody in the school department who's going to tell me I got my health care bill rejected because they didn't pay the bill. That doesn't happen. We have group insurance. Group. That's why you have a group. People who don't know healthcare, why do they make larger groups in healthcare? So when people get sick and the healthy people stabilize that premium because they don't spend a lot of money on healthcare. And as you get older, you get a little sicker. And that's why, when you buy single healthcare, it's a lot more expensive. When you buy group healthcare, the larger the group, the better you basically keep your experience rating. We have group insurance. Those bills have been paid. Coogan managed to get $2 million for the school department for bills that have already been paid. Oh, yeah, but our budget says it's $5 million. That's right. And the leper colony on Molochai's bill is $3 million a year because, that's right. You said there's a cure to leprosy now. That's right. But the cure must be expensive. But in the old days when their noses used to fall off and their ears used to fall off, it was very expensive. But the rest of Hawaii was fairly healthy, so they're in a group. So they never ran out of money. That's the way these things work. But to say that you've got to give them $2 million to pay their health care bill is a lie. It's a lie. We're running at 88.6%. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, this is not. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is. It's nuts. Now, just so we can be very clear on the leper colony in Molokai, okay? The leper colony in Molokai is now a national park called Talalapapa, established on a remote peninsula as an isolated settlement for those with Hansen's disease, otherwise known as leprosy, by the Hawaiian Kingdom. They forced quarantine ended in 1969. A small voluntary population of former patients, workers, and family members remained. Access is strictly limited to guided tours and requires a permit due to the active community and historical preservation efforts.
All right, now, so nobody doesn't correct us. There's no leper. It was an example, okay?
Right. But here's the funny thing.
But I didn't go to, when I went, I didn't go to Molokai when I did the Hawaiian Islands. I did scuba dive off Molokai, off the coast of Molokai, the island of Molokai. But it's a beautiful place, and it was a leper colony, but it's irrespective of what you use. It's like if you're in the GIC, if you have one part of, you're in a GIC, any plan, and you've got the entire city in that plan. Everybody's in that one plan. So if the people in the fire department are relatively healthy and they don't spend a lot of money, and a few people in the school department get sick, it balances out, stabilizes premiums. That's the way it's run. They don't understand, and this is the problem. We've got nobody that understands this, no matter how many times you tell them. So it's not that they don't know. It's that they don't want to know. They don't want to know.
That's true. Okay, so you have people on the school committee like Mimi Larrabee, Bobby Bailey, Tom Corey, Shelley Pereira, the four nitwits who just want to believe what Almeida, the screwball, the liar, wants to tell the school committee by misrepresenting the facts. Do I have that just about right? I think so.
Yeah, no, you're right, because talk about being myopic. He's looking at his budget and he's going, well, we budgeted X amount of dollars for healthcare. But he knows very well that that's just a number. As I said in my letter to Coogan 6 years ago, and everybody on the transition team that was on the finance committee, that public budgets are a work of fiction. They're all smoke and mirrors. They have to put something down for healthcare. So they put this figure down that they come up with. If they're under it, nobody ever hears about it. If they're over it, they whine. But they're not really over it. It should be separated. I've said that for years. You can't account for something by taking a small pot of it. And that's not, it's like trying to solve an equation with half of it missing. If I say minus 100, we're $100 short because we got a minus 100 in this equation. But if the front of the equation's got minus 1,000, got plus 1,000, we're still plus 900 ahead. They can't figure that out. It's not really that difficult. It's the school department and everything in their budget. When it comes to the healthcare, their other budget, they ran over budget. So I guess it doesn't matter whether it's in the budget or out of it. They can't run under budget anyway. And even when they run on budget, but healthcare, for accounting purposes, should be looked at as a separate entity in a budget. And I've said this ad nauseum to the city council, to everybody, because this is the crap we put up with, and it's always from the school department. It's always that guy in the school department. Oh, we're running over budget. We can't pay the bills. Oh, yes, you can. The bills are being paid. Did everybody's health care plan, did they storm the school department headquarters and try to lynch him because they were out of money? No, everybody's bill got paid. Believe me, at every PEC meeting, we have the head of the teachers union, the head of the administrators union, the head of all the non-teaching personnel there. Not one of them has complained about their bills not being paid, because they are being paid, and they look at the same paperwork I get. We're running at 88.6. I don't know what we're going to get in next month's meeting, but we're running under budget pretty well. We're nearly, we're running, if we stayed this way, we're going to be over $2 million under budget, cumulatively. But I guess these words are too difficult for them. The concept is too hard. It's like saying, well, I spent $5 on screwdrivers and I only had $3 in my budget, but I bought a part that I had budgeted for $500 and I only paid $6 for it. But now I'm under budget. No, you're not. There's a group. It's simple. It's a group.
But you don't understand. That's not how it works in the school department. We need to have every time we get fined because we need to stick our nose.
Well, I guess the 74-page report will be like Sherman. They can use it for toilet paper. They can use it for toilet paper. Yeah. Well, Nelson, all they actually need to do, and they don't want to do it, like I said, listen, you're not going to tell me that guy over in the school department doesn't understand this. He knows that. They all know it. Coogan knows it. When Coogan was on the school committee, guess who called me at home to explain this to him? Paul Coogan. And on the telephone, I explained it to him. It's a group. It's just a number for you guys. You have to submit a budget. But really, those bills are being paid. So you don't ask for a loan. Just keep your mouth shut. The school department ran $2 million over budget, but the rest of the city ran $4 million under budget. So it's a wash. But no, they got to cry about it and con a loan. Josh, do you give loans to people who for bills that have been paid? No, nobody does except our government. Oh, who knows? I don't know. Nobody can figure out anything. It's like we've got people. We don't have basically a financial team in Fall River anymore. Who have we got? Cedric left. He was the assistant auditor. Now this other girl, I believe her name is Jessica. She left, and now she's been canned. Well, so they say. She wanted to go back to her own job, and I guess Paul got upset and told that she was basically told to leave, but she said, well, she resigned rather than leave, but she was going to get bounced. So who have we got? We've got that whoever's left, that person that goes in front of the council and never has a number.
Emily?
Yeah, the Emily. And I guess from what I've been told, allegedly, well, I've been told it, but it's an allegation by the people who told me, she's extremely difficult to work with. And I think by the turnover we've seen working with her, I think that may be true. And now
everyone complains about her. Everybody who works with her complains about her. The city council complains about her.
Yeah. But Paul likes her. So that's all that counts. Remember, she's young, and
we got to give everyone who's young a
chance, even if they're incompetent. Isn't that like DEI? Well, the girl that just left, that he just got rid of, she managed to make one retirement board meeting. I talked to her. She seemed like she was, she was okay. And she's younger than that girl, or as young as that girl. So why didn't he give her a break?
Right.
I mean, and then now, supposedly, allegedly, they're going to hire a guy with no public sector budget experience. Can you imagine what a catastrophe the next budget's going to be with Emily and somebody else that doesn't know how to use the Munis system and can't add and subtract and know the public how to, because there are laws, and you know that, I know that, most people know that there are laws unique to public sector budgets and how money is spent. It's not the same as the private sector. We have different laws. Like, there is a thing called ERISA for the private sector. We don't have ERISA. So there are different things. But I mean, I can't even imagine what the next budget cycle is going to be like. It's going to be like, that old saying, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is the king.
Yeah.
Well, we got a king. We got a blind king too. So it's like, I don't know where we're going with this next budget. I mean, we got all like newbies in there.
I know.
It's horrifying.
The worst part about it, though, is not only does Emily present the lies, the department heads present the lies.
Yeah.
Okay? Everyone's got to justify why they need more money. Okay? And the justifications aren't valid. You want to know what a justification is? Look at what came out in Providence, Rhode Island. And I know Providence isn't like Fall River. It's a much bigger city. Okay? But they have increased on-the-street police personnel. They have decreased crime. They have made the police department efficient. Somebody's doing something right. We got 14-year-olds running around in Fall River with handguns.
They're also building affordable housing in Providence, too.
That's right. They're building affordable housing. Lots of it.
But
they're building it in Somerset.
But I just want to know, can somebody please tell me where else in the world, except in a blue state and in a city like Fall River, do people get rewarded for overspending their budget? You think in Newton that you would go in front of Newton City Council and say, I gave you a budget that demanded that I have to put everything that I'm going to do this year, and I blew it by $5 million. You know what they'd say? That department might get the $5 million, but everybody that's at the top of that department's food chain is going to be gone.
Like
I can guarantee
when the school
that.
department came before the city council, I would have said, here's the Thanksgiving bird.
Yeah.
Find the money in your budget somewhere, because you're not getting it from here.
I overspent my budget. Can I do that next time I go to the supermarket and buy some groceries?
Hey, tell your mortgage company. Tell your mortgage company you overspent your budget. I don't know. They hadn't raised their taxes because the court ordered the city of Providence to pay more into the wasteful education system. That's why they had to raise their taxes. But if Maura Healey gets her way, Prop 2.5 is going to be gone. And then you can bitch about your rents.
Then you'll see
because the landlord's got to raise the rents because the taxes are going through the roof. Think about that for a moment.
Well, glad you mentioned that, but none, Annalise. That's basically none blue states. I think somebody called me with a statistic. I have to look it up, but I think it's probably accurate. They said somebody did a study and said that 20 only 20% of high school students can pass a math proficiency test,
Right.
and only 30% are reading at grade level. Can you imagine that?
That's better numbers than I've heard.
Yeah, well,
That's better numbers than
I
I've
don't know
heard.
where these stats. I got to look it up because somebody called me and said, the math. They're doing math. Only 20% can do it at a grade level. Only 30% can read at a grade level. And this is what gets me when you read how desperate the Democrats are to keep the Department of Education, which ever since that was created by another Democrat, the second most useless president in history, Jimmy Carter, has the educational level in this country has gone down. We have third world countries that have better educational attainment than we do. And I mean, this is the problem. When you have states and cities that you got departments that say, "Oh, I ran over budget $5 million. Oh, okay, we'll just transfer some money over to you and take it out of the taxpayer's pocket." Maura Healey says, "Okay, we'll just repeal 2.5." Well, if you repeal 2.5, everybody that can get out of Massachusetts will get out of Massachusetts. No, you're right, Annalise. That's been Annalise is dumbing down of America. They've been doing that for the last 50, 75 years. I mean, okay.
Yes, Stevie, I put it up. I guess Chip missed it.
Rick?
Here it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right, Steve. Everybody knows that, but the Dems love it because you know why? You got somebody like Randy Weingarten running around yelling at protests instead of saying, "You know something? The educational system in the United States is failing. Let's do something about it." No, she is a militant radical for the Democratic agenda. They don't care about education. All they care about is the jobs and the money that they can get. And that's the reality of it.
Well, now that we're talking about education and whatnot, the most recent data shows Massachusetts education performance is declining, particularly in the post-pandemic era, with student scores lower than pre-pandemic levels across different tests. High schoolers are struggling the most with significant drops in English and math scores compared to 2019. While Massachusetts still performs well on national comparisons like the NAEP, these high-level rankings mask a significant crisis where struggling students, especially from low-income backgrounds, Fall River, and students of color, are falling further behind. The state is implementing new initiatives such as early literacy and tutoring programs to address these gaps. The most recent MCAS scores show a decline, with no student group statewide reaching pre-pandemic achievement levels. High schoolers are struggling the most, with English scores dropping by 6% and math scores by 3% from the previous year. 10th grade scores are 14 percentage points behind where they were in 2019. I'm not going to read the rest of the statistics, but I'll tell you now. If I was a college admissions director, I'd say, "You're from Fall River? Here's the turkey bird."
Well, listen, the sad part about what you just read, CJ, is it's a sign of something that's really, really disturbing if you pay attention to it. Because our educational attainment would be a lot lower. It says they're performing relatively well. The only reason we're performing relatively well, the metric measures the people in places like Newton,
Right.
Wellesley, Martha's Vineyard. They raise it enough because
Exactly.
last time I checked, Somebody can go on a U.S. Census Bureau right now because that's always my source. But in Newton, 75%. Oh, Josh, come on. God. The 75% of the residents of Newton have a bachelor's degree or greater.
Right.
99%, 98 or 99% of the people who live in Newton have at least a high school diploma.
Right.
So obviously they're going to test better. I mean, kids of people with college degrees normally send their kids to college.
That's right.
And the thing is that Fall River's got like 22% of people have a bachelor's degree. And, of course, we're going to say, so what does that mean? It means the education is even worse than we think it is. And where is it the worst? For the kids who need it the most. The kids from the poor cities, the kids from middle income don't get the education. You're not going to, Newton's got a great educational system because the average income in Newton is like $185,000 for a family and over $100,000 for an individual. Ours is 30. Do the math.
And in Fall River, the kids who need the help the most don't get it because our school system can't handle it.
Yeah. Well, they've been trying to shut the department, but there's a lot. Like I said, and who's leading the charge to keep it open? It's the Democrats. Oh, they're trying to wreck our education. No, you already wrecked it. I hate to tell you this, Democrats, but you already wrecked it. Who is against charter schools? The Democrats. Yeah, and the sad part about it is, Annalisa, there are a lot of kids who, if they went to school and got a quality education, they might get engaged. Maybe their parents are not, unfortunately, some parents have to work a lot. They don't have a lot of education. They're not educationally oriented. That's the difference. I mean, if you look at they talk about nurture versus nature. Kids who grow up in a household where both parents are professionals, they're academics, they read, they come up in a different environment. But it's doable because how many immigrants came here, worked 2 or 3 jobs with one goal in mind, to get their kids a better lot in life. And they got their kids to high school, to college. A lot of them are products of that. And it can be done, but there has to be a focus on actually educating these kids, and there isn't. What is the focus on? Getting as many people to do as many redundant jobs as you can, have absolutely no merit-based metric for them to meet, and no accountability. Run over $5 million on a budget. Our kids, we got one of the worst school systems in the state. We're going to give you run over budget, and we're going to give you $5 million. Not say what CJ said. Well, figure out. You can't educate the kids. You can't count the money. It's on you. Survive till next year. When I run out of money, I can't buy shit. It's that simple.
Yeah, well, our school system runs on food stamps.
Yeah. No, and you're right, Steve. This is why you see so many of these kids want socialism. They're so undereducated. They haven't figured out that it's never worked in the history of mankind. I just saw an article when Dami's crying now. He needs money to implement all the things he said. No shit. Really? Here's a guy that never worked. His mommy and daddy still take care of him, and they just elected another mayor. You're talking about radically. In Minneapolis or something. She's 43 years old. Her parents still support her. These people are rich elitists who think Karl Marx's doctrine, oh, this sounds really good. Yeah, that's because you never had to work. You don't know about the reality. You don't know that people don't work for free. This doesn't work. If you're not going to pay people, yeah, I think it was Seattle. I mean, yeah, some 43-year-old who their mother still. This is your right, Steve. This is why these kids are. You promise them a handout. They're with you. Watch what happens in 2 or 3 years in New York, because they're not. They're not going to get it. He's already said, well, we can't do free buses. Well, you can't do free everything. You can't. You got rent control. People are going to sell the property and leave. Landlords don't make money. You're going to tell them you can't make money. Well, we're going to seize all public property, all private property. Well, then who's going to pay for upkeep? The people you're giving free stuff to? Because all the rich people are going to move out. You're going to give everything. Let's look at socialism closely. You're going to give everybody everything for free because somebody else is going to pay for it. Well, who's going to pay for it? These people are going to give you everything for nothing, and the rich people are going to pay. Now, rich people can go anywhere they want. So the rich people go, well, pick a finger. I'm out of here.
The turkey bird.
I'm out of here. And now there's nobody to pay the bill. You're going to go to the state. The governor's already backing off. Hochul's already going, I can't. Don't ask me for money. No, don't do that. Well, this is the problem. And these kids, you're right, they get radicalized because you make them promises you can't keep, and they're too dumb to realize that this is a fantasy. It's a fantasy. Socialism has never worked. Talk to anybody that came from Cuba, came from Russia, came from Venezuela, came from anywhere. It doesn't work. Supermarkets are going to be empty. You're not going to pay the farmers. You got to give us the stuff. No, we're not giving you anything. I'm not growing anything anymore. You think I'm going to go buy seed, work 15 hours a day in the fields, and then I'm going to make nothing?
Well, look at what just happened with the beef farmers, the cattlemen.
Yeah.
Okay? Trump took away the tariffs on beef from Colombia, South America, Mexico, took away all those tariffs in a way to drive down the price of beef. But like the cattlemen said, it costs more for grain, it costs more to feed them, it costs more to get each head to the butcher. It's kind of difficult. So what do they expect? They're predicting now. This is a prediction. I watched it last night. $10 a pound for ground beef. $10 a pound for hamburger. You know who that report came from? One of the largest beef companies in the country. You buy all those beef packages from them for Christmas gifts. Annalise isn't buying any.
Yeah.
She's not buying any beef.
Yeah,
I like a good ribeye. I like a good filet.
Yeah. That just shoots my whole lifestyle kills me, because you know me, CJ. The only 2 steaks I ever eat are filet mignon and a porterhouse.
Right.
I'd rather normally have a hamburger than a tough steak.
Right.
When you got to beat it up with a hammer for 2 hours, run it over with a truck, and then put gravy on it to make it edible. I'd rather have ground beef than that. So I only eat really good beef.
And now they're talking about $10.
And now the hamburger is going to be so expensive. I think I'm going to have to I don't know. We're going to have to switch to something else. Maybe let's all become vegetarians and eat tofu. No,
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, you know what it is? It's all the methane. It's all the methane that those cows produce.
Yeah, but it's like Steve's right. This is why these people become radicalized.
Right.
They don't get educated, and then they'll still, like I said, you got two mayors now that are still being taken care of by their mommies and daddies.
Ground turkey's awfully
And you're going to
dying.
let them run a city. They never paid for anything in their life.
Right.
No wonder they're socialists. They lived in a socialist world. Their mother and dad were the ones who gave them everything they had free. They didn't have to do anything. Oh, okay, son. Okay, daughter. Yeah, go to college. Go there. Live in a basement. Don't worry about it. I mean, of course, they think the world is socialist. No, that's because their parents were wealthy. Obviously, they didn't grow up. They didn't grow up in a real world where you go ask your father to buy a car and he says, "I had to pay for that car. Go get a job, save some money, and buy your own car." Oh, those days are gone for those two. Yeah, well, yeah. Hey, look, he had a great theory. There's been a lot of great theories in the world, but theories are only theories. We found a lot of theories that never worked. Oh, what was that? What movie was that thing in? A rat burger? What movie was that in? That was one of Stallone's movies, wasn't it? That the thing he got frozen or whatever it was. Well, we talk about it all the time, Steve. But this was a plan that was hatched long before most of the people that are watching this show were born. Joe McCarthy talked about this. Go look up your history books when Senator Tail Gunner Joe was talking about the elites are going to infiltrate the colleges, brainwash the kids. They're going to be funded by the movie industry and the rich liberal billionaires, and they're all communists. And guess what? Demolition Man. That's right. That was the name of the movie.
Yep, Demolition Man.
Yeah, and all the restaurants were Taco Bell. I remember that part of that movie. But,
yes.
But the thing is, this is what happened. They ran him out of Congress. They laughed at him. And I'll tell you what, go look it up. He was 100% right. It was like he had a crystal ball. Or he was like the time machine from H.G. Wells. He traveled and saw. He said exactly what would happen. He said they will take over the country by taking over the colleges, brainwashing the kids, and they're going to be financed by exactly who they're being financed by. All the elitist movie stars and all the rich liberals. And that's exactly what they've done. And in the since 1950, that's like 75 years, they have completely poisoned. That was poisoned. These generations, they have no ability to look at logic. They spent their time in a classroom, like now in New Jersey, it's mandatory that they got to learn climate science, even though they debunked it.
Oh, not only that.
Yes.
Arabic numerals. Come on. What are we doing?
Well, they're going to have they can't learn English numerals.
No
English.
shit.
They're going to have one hell of a time with. They're going to have one hell of a time with Arabic numerals.
I know.
That is one tough, because I mean I can understand Arabic, but I still can't read it. I keep saying to myself, one of these days I'm really going to buckle down and learn how to read it. But that's a very difficult language.
Saudi Arabia wants to buy Warner Brothers. Just what we need.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. They got all the money. They got 3/4 of the money in the world over there, and that's the problem.
Right.
Problem is that's what they. But the school department 74-page mess, and what is the Coogan's response and its council? Give them more money after they've said they can't handle the money. I don't know what to do, and we're cursed. I just hope, against all hope, that this new council and this new school committee steps up to the plate and protects us, because, I mean, we're gonna be toast. I mean, that budget better be taken. I hope that Chris Peckham gets support for his resolution for a forensic audit. Science or Arabs. The languages are fairly similar, Annalise. They're all Semitic people. A lot of people don't realize that. And that's the irony of the hatred, which is religious based, obviously, because fundamentally they are all the same people. They're all Semitic. The difference is the religions between them all. And therein lies the problem. It is not because of they're bigoted against the their color or something. They're all the same, basically. The Arabs, the Jews. Languages are fairly similar. They're all kind of Aramaic based. Aramaic based. But that's the irony of it. Yeah, a lot of them were, Annalise. You're right. I mean, I know that stuff firsthand. My mother was hidden in the chicken coops when the Turks came during World War I, because she was there, and she was a Christian. They hid her they hid all the children in the chicken coops, and so it's about religion. It's not about being different, because they're fundamentally the same people, anthropologically. So that's the irony of the whole thing.
Hey, even within the Catholic faith, we have the Marianites, we have the Roman Catholics.
Yeah.
Never the two shall meet.
But normally in the Catholic faith, they kind of get along. They get their own little entities.
That's true. That's
but
true.
The problem, unfortunately, with the Muslims is they can't get along with anybody, including their own.
Exactly.
The Shiites kill the Sunnis kill the Shiites. They've been warring since time immemorial, and therein lies the problem. It's the radicals, not all of them, but the radical Muslims believe in that dogma that if you're not a Muslim, you either have to become one or you have to be killed because you're an infidel. So
right,
not a good
not a good match.
Done to Europe. Look what they're doing to Europe and the UK. It's a mess.
I know, and it's just getting worse for us. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. It's been a great show and a great time. You have a wonderful day. Try to stay warm out there, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. We'll see you on Friday. Have a great night.